6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, all through black and white fans. Thank you very much for joining us tonight for the Premier League review. There is a few people to come on soon, but we've got James. I call him the Anvil. He's deciding to eat his dinner again. He's obviously rushed home. We'll find out what spicy food he's eating tonight then, shall we? But very quickly, evening, Les. Thanks for joining us. You did get the right time. Well done. And Paul, evening, Paul, and everyone in the chat. There's the link if you'd like to become a member. It's completely up to yourselves. We do prize draws once a month or twice or once every 2 months. And a Kevin Keegan signed photograph with your name will be the prize this month. I'll be picking it up on the 20th of October. So we'll be drawing it before then. And whoever wins it, I'll get Kevin Keegan to personally sign it for you. Very exciting. They planned ahead then. Right, let's dare to bring James in while he's scoffing his face. How's it going, pal? You all right? Brilliant. We've got Mike to come on a little bit later. Pete's coming in soon as well. There's a few of us. They're all a little bit late, but these things happen. Good weekend of football, though. It was great to have football back, James.
Yeah, I missed it. I actually got a bit of a break out of it. You know, bit of downtime from it, and then we got back into it. So yeah, nice to have it back though.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, it's been doing my head in not being able to watch any football, especially at work. Let's start with the early kickoff then. Arsenal 3, Spurs 1. We all said Arsenal haven't really played anyone yet, and when they did, they played Man United and got beat. They've then come up against their North London rivals. Now Spurs normally do well against Arsenal. Yeah, but Arsenal they were just impressive, to be fair. I know there's a send-off, but the send-off didn't just change the game, did it? I think Arsenal still probably would have won that game. Yeah, definitely. I think it was just a good, comfortable win for him in the end. You know, what it's always they want to try and get a result against their rivals, and I think with Arsenal, the momentum they've had at the start of the season, it's again just more impressive for him, and they just want to continue to build on it. Yeah, I mean, what is it? 7 wins, 1 loss. Yeah, I think so. That's impressive. It really is. And the opening goal was very impressive as well, wasn't it, Thomas? I saw that. Yeah. I wasn't expecting that, and when he got laid to him, he just smashed it in the top corner, bent it beautifully. And then that man, Jesus, I think 90% of Premier League fantasy football players have got him in his team. I'm one of them. I've got Jesus. I'm the guilty party. But he was the missing link, wasn't he? If they had Jesus last season, they probably would have finished top 4. Very versatile forward. So, you know, he's got a lot of credentials they've been missing. I mean, like they had Aubameyang who just had goals. But, you know, they've got him for an all right price, to be fair. And, I think he's been very good. I mean, this team basically is just Arteta's own. Let's be honest. It's Arteta's own with his own players. His own, definitely. But Xhaka, one of the old guards, a man who 2 years ago looked like he was leaving Arsenal, said some things he shouldn't have. He's probably had one of the biggest turnarounds like Joe Linton did for Newcastle. Yeah. Well, it's not from playing a different position because Xhaka's still playing centre mid. Just what he said, and you know, he was like literally fans were booing him off the pitch and all this sort of stuff. You know, we were obviously not booing Jonathan off the pitch, but we were like, "Oh my god, this guy is shite." But I mean, it's a great turnaround for him, though, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. Martin, how are you doing? Amen. I love that Mancunian accent. It's brilliant. The penalty, no dispute in the penalty was there. It was definitely a pen. I mean, even didn't change the game in the end. So. Yeah, it didn't change anything. Emerson Royale. Now, I've watched the challenge a few times, and is he being sent off because it's dirty, rather than being really dangerous? Because I mean, is it sending off? I mean, personally, I don't know. Tackle from behind, normally a yellow. Nowhere near the ball. He's got him in the calf, not in the shins or anything like that. Calf's not too bad. I mean, what did you make of it?
Well, it's again, it's a decision to make when that happens. I think for Spurs fans' benefit, they'll be happy to not have him play again because he's absolute crap. And the fact he spent he spent £1 million on trying to get himself better. Like, dearie me, and I think Spurs fans will be glad to see back of him for a game because he's just been a liability for them.
Yeah. What about you, Martin? What did you make of the sending off for Spurs? Definite red, or do you think it's a little bit harsh or not?
No, definite red. If you're trying to wrap your leg around or your foot around to tackle, your stud's down and your foot's wrapped round. He comes in at the side, actually, if you look at it properly.
Yeah.
And his studs are up, so it's a red.
Yeah.
Definitely a red. I think he was just pissed off because Martinelli had run him ragged all day.
There is that as well. But it's an impressive performance, Martin, for Arsenal. Like we said, they've never come up against
Not
anyone
Arsenal.
yet.
Beat at Manchester City.
You've still got to give them credit. You still got to give them credit, though. It's 7 wins, 1 loss. It's not bad, is it?
Yeah, they're doing well. They're doing well. Just, I'd say, I don't think they'll be there come January, February.
I don't know if it's a different Arsenal. I think it depends who they buy in January and where they finish before the World Cup starts.
That's going to be a turning point.
Yeah, if they're still top of the league by then and they attract some bigger players thinking, oh, God, I can get on the back of this and maybe,
I don't think they can, though, can they? I think they were on borderline with FFP.
Were they?
With the eight teams that just got done, Arsenal were like borderline just escaping it. So I don't think they can go in the market.
West Ham's done it.
Spending a load.
Yeah, West Ham done it. Everton did it. I suppose it's a new financial year in January, though, isn't it? So it all depends on how close they are when it comes to January, I suppose.
Yeah, there's going to be some criteria about it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because, I mean, if Arsenal are top, by the World Cup comes, there are going to be players thinking, well, I wouldn't mind a bit of that. They're going to get Champions League football if they're top by Christmas, in my eyes,
Yeah.
Liverpool are struggling. Chelsea are struggling a bit.
Not in this game, they're not. They're 1-0 up on Rangers.
Are they? Well, that doesn't surprise me. I'm expecting them to hammer them. But yeah, so Arsenal's going to be... it's going to be interesting. I think Liverpool aren't going to challenge Man City now. I don't think Spurs are. I think Arsenal are the only team who have got a chance of, pulling a rabbit out of the hat. I can't see it, but that's what I think is going to happen. So it's going to be interesting. But a great win for Arsenal. Arteta's doing wonders at the moment, and if they keep that run going, it's going to be interesting. Let's talk about the snooze draw. There wasn't really much to talk about in this game, was there?
No.
I watched the highlights and then I fell asleep.
No. Standard 0-0 draw.
The highlights. What highlights? Was there any highlights?
Well, there was about 30 seconds or a minute or something on Match of the Day.
Yeah, exactly.
It was terrible.
But got to give Bournemouth the due because at least they're trying to stay up. They're not trying to do what Forest are doing, where Forest have gone out and spent a lot of money and trying to. Forest are trying to majorly run before they're walking. At least Bournemouth are trying to walk. So out of the two of them, I think out of all three of them, I think Bournemouth have probably got the best chance of staying up because they're defensively sound and they're also they've got a very good mentality of if we can't win, we don't get beat.
Which is what you should aim for, really.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I was going to ask the next question is like James is who's the more happier manager? I mean, Brentford getting a point away from home. Probably where they are in the league, and with the firepower they've got, they probably
they're not going to
win, maybe. Or
I mean, they've had a good start to the season, though, Brentford, to be fair. So a draw is probably fair for them. It's a point gained, and I don't think they're not getting over their heads about where we're going to finish or whatever. Bournemouth's going to need the point more. So for Bournemouth, it's going to feel more like a victory. And for those wondering, before anyone asks in the chat what I'm eating something from Vietnam.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I've lost that one. We're just going to quickly go back to the first game. Who was the man of the match in the Arsenal Spurs game? I didn't get to watch it because I was on night shift, so I only saw the highlights. But who was man of the match? Anyone watch the 90 minutes?
I didn't. I don't know who man of the match was.
Well, there we go, Eddie. Haven't got a clue, mate. Bazello was 3-0 not doing enough credit to Tottenham. I don't get that. 3-0 not doing enough credit to Tottenham. Have I misread that or something? I don't know. Was 3-0 not doing enough? It was 3-1 anyway. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Adam. Thanks for joining me, mate. We've got Steve in the background. Look at that huffy face.
You all right, lads?
Evening. How's it going, Del Boy?
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad. Bit tired, but plodding on as always.
Likewise.
Starting to
eating his dinner again.
Yeah, I'm starting.
It's lunch actually. It's lunchtime, right? It's only like 1:30.
It's crazy, isn't it? I love it. Just in time, Steve. I'm really sorry, mate, but it's your game.
Mental.
What do I say about it? Absolute robbery. Big six bias.
I've watched it and I've watched the highlights, and someone said to me that it was a foul on the defender, but I've got to disagree, to be honest with you. I'm with you on this, Steve. He went down soft, just like, I don't know, like my knob goes down when I see your face, I suppose. It likes to go soft then, doesn't
it? Your knob goes down when you see Sam Chipperfield.
Oh, hey!
Oh, my days.
Hey, don't. Let's not go there tonight.
He does.
But yes,
he goes everywhere, mate.
He does. I know. That's why he's blocked. It is a handball. Should have been a sending off. You were robbed.
It's a double handball because by the letter of the law, he's grabbed it not once. He's grabbed it twice. Yeah. That's 2 yellow cards. And I'm telling you now, if that was a West Ham player or a Newcastle player or any other player that's kind of deemed smaller, hands down, they're getting sent off. It's because it was a Chelsea player that it was completely ignored. And I'm telling you, the same result would happen if it was a Liverpool player or a Man City player. It would just be a yellow card and a rap on the wrist. As simple as that. It's an absolute shocking shambles in that league now. And I can't tell you, that's the fourth game out of 7 games that we've had where we've been absolutely shafted up the arse and can't even get it back out. And I know plenty of other clubs have gone through the same mix, but the bias and the corruption and the blatant, you can't even hide it. How much they side with the top 6, these referees and officials, it's just a shambles of a shithouse. It's as simple as that, and it's disgusting because at that point we were in the ascendancy. We'd gone 1-0 up. He was 1-on-1. Can't guarantee he would have scored because it's.
He would have had the chance though, wouldn't he? Because that's
would have had the chance, and the fact that they turn around and try to justify a yellow card and no intervention for a red because Chilwell was 20 yards behind. It's disgusting. It's beyond
5 yards behind and 20 yards on the other side of the pitch, wasn't he?
It's just a joke, and there's no way he would have got to Ayew. And like I said, Ayew is Ayew. Can't guarantee that he would have scored, but at the end of the day, he would have been 1-on-1, and you would probably sort of go on the side of the fact he's more likely to score than not score. But all of a sudden it's 11 versus 10, and and we cause them problems all game. But it's just a joke, and unfortunately, this is what happens when you don't get things to go the right way when it should be. Things like Gallagher coming on with 15 minutes to go and Loftus-Cheek, you could guarantee it's going to be one of them that scores a winner. And the fact that Silva set up the equaliser as well is just an even bigger pill to swallow.
Yeah, great equaliser. But you are right. I mean, James, do you agree or disagree with it? I mean, even if Ayew doesn't score, it's Ayew. It's the fact that the Silva has denied a goal scoring opportunity, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, the sending off thing, I get what Steve's saying, because West Ham's been shafted a few times by refs, and it does me freaking head in. So, yeah, I totally get where he's coming from, and I'll side with him on that. It's just another stupid thing, really, and the more you talk about it, the more it makes you piss boil.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Martin, do you agree it should have been a sending off, or?
Yeah, 100%. Red.
Well...
But the thing is, like in Martin's job, whatever he does, I don't know. In your job, James, in your job, Baz, what do we have as average Joes? We have reviews. We have, performance development plans to understand what you want to do, where you want to go, what your training needs are. And if you do something that's not right, we're pulled over the coals over it, and a plan's put in place for you to rectify it. These guys, they're paid over $100,000 a year. They make it all about themselves, and nothing changes apart from the odd bit of punishment from the FA where they demote them to the Championship for one game, and then the following week they're back refereeing a Premier League game. So they don't learn by their mistakes. There's no training in place. There's no change that can make them any better, or for them to make tweaks that will do that. And equally, at the same time, if they collaborate the referees all together, if they're pulling them up together on these things, they can only perform better on the back of it. But nothing gets said. It just gets washed under the carpet, and it doesn't matter because it's a small team, and as we're defined as, and it's like, oh well, it's just Palace, or it's just Newcastle, it's just West Ham, it's just Brentford. The attitude is they couldn't care less, and nothing will change. And well, actually, that's a lie. What will change is it'll just keep getting worse and worse and worse week by week by week. And the problem is you've got points that depend on it. You've got prize money. You've got,
you've got managers' jobs.
You've got obviously positions as well. So many factors really rely on it, but they don't care and they don't change it. So they don't pull anyone to task. They don't even sit there on a Monday and say, right, let's look at the bits and pieces that have gone on this weekend and try and learn from it. It's just the same, and it just gets worse. And it's just a shambles at the moment.
It'd be interesting to know what they actually do, because we don't really know what they do behind the scenes. But you would think there'd be something in place, but I can't comment on it because I don't really know what goes on.
Yeah, it's one of those what you don't know is what you don't know. But like I said, in any job, you look at ways that you can tweak things to get things better, and it just appears that none of that's happening, and that they can just swan around like they're it, they're the dog's bollocks kind of thing, and getting paid over $100,000 a year for the privilege of making it all about themselves, which most of the time they do. And what makes it even worse is that the one system that you're relying on to make the right decision. There's two things that are happening right now. The first one is they're looking for ways not to give what they should give. And secondly, you've got two of the biggest idiots that were two of the worst Premier League referees ever running the bloody thing. So how can it even improve? It's not even got a chance. It's just a waste of time. It really is. And I think we're in our third season now with it, and it's just... it started off bad and it's just progressively got worse and worse and worse.
And we know VAR works in Champions League. We know it works in other leagues. We've seen it work when it first came out in Australia and America and places like that. It's just...
Oh, yeah, I know about it in America.
Our referees are shit.
The reality of the situation is in Italy, Spain, France, all of the places that have got it, they don't have any problems.
No.
They don't have any issues.
That's not true, because we've seen that disallowed goal in the Italian league. That was massively onside, and they forgot about the player who kept everyone onside and drew the line and forgot about him.
Well,
maybe it's a one-off.
The majority
it's a one-off, but I'm just saying it's funny.
But you don't see Hawkeye, you don't see any of the other systems which are similar in other sports having any problems. So why is this the only sport where it's just an absolute shambles? Is beyond my comprehension.
So simple, right?
I don't get it.
The fact that the FA knew VAR was coming in, they didn't go to the likes of the EBC cricket, they didn't go to the Rugby Federation, they didn't go to tennis and go, how does VAR work in your sport? Can you give us some tips? Can you help us in the right direction? They just thought, we're football, we can run this on our own, we know what we're doing, and they fucked it up. It's as simple as that.
But the thing is, if it was exactly the same situation in reverse, hands down, I would be saying the Palace player needs to be sent off.
Yeah, no, we're not arguing against that.
And so many of the ex-pundits and ex-players that are pundits and referees and stuff are trying to make out that it was a good decision. It's like, what the hell are you watching? Why are you even? I don't know. I'm so annoyed by it. I'm not going to lie, because we've been robbed against Liverpool. We've been robbed against Chelsea. We've been robbed against Brentford. Arsenal, there was a few precarious decisions in there, and it's just like, guys, this is the best league in the world. You've got to start getting these things right.
I agree. Right, moving on. Was Tottenham better than the result would indicate? I only saw the highlights, and all I saw was literally Arsenal pound Tottenham, to be fair.
Tottenham were awful.
There you go, Martin agrees. I spoke to a Spurs fan today at work who's got
everywhere they go.
Even though happy Newcastle finally won, yes, since the first game of the season. Have I missed a match review for No, you just heard it. Arsenal and Bournemouth games. Year to Arsenal. Good point. At least I was polite. Yes, you were. Evening, Les. Hi, Mogul. Okay, would like to think Newcastle can definitely beat Brentford, but I hope Newcastle are not complacent. Oh, that's tomorrow's show, that one, mate. I think the atmosphere will stop from that, Kevin. Oh, I don't know about that. Top 6, here we go. Oh, Jesus, someone's getting overexcited. Eddie will hammer home the need for momentum now. I hope he does. Agree, Klopp on SSN all day, winning on repeat. Winding on repeat, sorry. Bit optimistic over Shelby. I hope Shelby's back. He's been in full training, apparently. Been rumoured for 2 weeks. Blah, blah, blah. Eddie, thank you so much. Oh, God, yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow. Thanks for
happy birthday.
Yeah, cheers. I'm not happy about it. But thanks, Eddie. I'll have a few drinks on Saturday. Shelby will have a, yeah. Hey, PDP's nearly back as well. Hello, Mike. Beware of Haaland.
Yeah, got volume now.
Do you want to hear an interesting fact on Haaland?
Go on.
So when he was 19 or 18, I think it was, Everton had the chance to sign him for 5 million and turned him down.
No way.
Saying that the only thing they could offer him was under 23 football, and it would be a waste of his and their time.
Probably for the best then.
That's brilliant. I love hearing things like it's a bit like Newcastle when we had the chance to sign Aubameyang and didn't, because of Mike Ashley. What a dickhead.
It's the same with West Ham trying to sign Neymar in 2010. That's the most infamous one.
Yeah, that as well. Mike's disappeared already. We'll jump to the Southampton Everton game since we're talking about Everton, and we'll wait till Pete and Mike gets back for the next 2 games. So Southampton 1, Everton 2. I am shocked at Everton, guys. I thought Everton were going to go down.
No.
Honestly, I did. But I think Southampton are going to go down now. They're struggling. They're not scoring enough goals.
No chance Everton are going down. They've got a great manager in Frank Lampard. And a lot of people want to hate Frank Lampard, but I can tell you now, Frank Lampard, Vieira, Gerrard, maybe a little bit out of his depth, perhaps. But those sort of managers are the next crop coming through and will replace the likes of, Pep and Klopp and people like that, because they're not going to go on forever. They've said that.
I agree.
And I think Frank Lampard, I think he's just been a little bit unlucky. You're not going to turn down the job at Chelsea because that's your boyhood club. You spent a long time there playing, and that's an opportunity you can't refuse. But equally, when you've got Abramovich running the shop, and if you don't bring results, you're gone. And Tuchel paid for the job as well. And it looks like the new ownership are taking over that mantle. So it's cutthroat. When you make that step up, you need to perform. You need to bring trophies. And I guarantee you, if Pep hadn't bought trophies to Man City, he wouldn't still be there.
No, I agree with that as well. Sort of. Martin, Everton, are you surprised at their form? I honestly had them to go down. I really did.
I had him to go down because I don't rate Lampard. I don't at all. I think whatever. One thing I will give him credit on, he's got a Wolby going again. Now I know a lot of Everton fans really did not like Wolby. They wanted him gone in the summer. They wanted him bye. Thought it was a waste of money. But to his credit, he's transformed them. Did a shrewd bit of business with a Brighton lad. So it didn't surprise me because Southampton were doing well. They had, Romeo Lavia, who they bought off us. But since he's been injured, they seem to have sort of lost their way a little bit in that midfield. So, I mean, Southampton for me are an up and down team. 1 week they're good, 1 week they're bad. They can't make their mind up which one they want to be.
They've no connectivity. I don't think that's the thing. They've no
goal scorer as well, though. Really.
They blew 2 goals in 5 minutes. So it's just like they go 1-0 up and they think, well, what the hell are we doing?
I think it's worth pointing out, guys, as well. With any team, to perform well, you need a good core. And again, I know, Baz, you hate Everton with a passion, but
I don't hate them with a passion.
They've got a great core. They've got Pickford in goal, who is a fantastic keeper. I know he's got small hands,
small arms.
He's still a great keeper, and they've just signed Tarkowski and Cody, and they just look really, really solid at the back. So that's what you need at the end of the day. Prior to that, their defence looked all over the shop, or just was made of glass. And as Mike says, Iwobi transforming him to what he previously was at Arsenal before Everton signed him for that big fee, and he's performing really well. Plus, what's the name of the other guy in midfield? Anano, isn't it, or something?
Oh, no. Who rejected West Ham at the last second.
Yeah, he said he wanted to go to a bigger club, so it was.
He settled the equaliser, didn't he? From the header back to corner. I think it's Martin, by the way, who said that he transformed him. Mike hasn't had a chance to speak yet. So hello, Mike.
Sorry, Martin. Sorry, my bad. And also, they Brighton saw Everton coming with £15 million for more pay. So Brighton's selling ability is. Come to the forefront this season.
It's a well-run club in general, I think.
Southampton's a good run club normally, but there's just nothing coming. They had like a ray of talent coming through with them, and they ended up selling them on. And think of all the players they sold on, especially to Liverpool.
Ariba looks good. They signed from Rangers, but also was it 2 or 3 kiddies that they signed from Man City? They look nice.
What's basically happened is the head of the scouting network for our academy has now gone to Southampton as a coach. So that's why you're seeing a lot of our EDS lads going over there, and with buybacks. Because
the main problem with that is that they've signed them, started off really, really well, and I think Southampton shot forward with points, but 3 of them have been injured. So, how's your luck?
There's only a dozen left
you
now.
Can't do anything to control that, can you?
Yeah. I think that's what I mean, losing Lavia, because Lavia had sort of found his level, sort of in a way of, because the idea for these lads to go to Southampton was to get Premier League football, which they were not going to get at Manchester City. So they had to get there, get playing week in, week out. They can build up, and then if they perform week in, week out, we can then buy them back at a reasonable price.
Yeah, that'll be set in the contract, won't it? I know you're cautious, Martin, about leaving because you've got to pick your daughter up, I believe you said.
No, I've got to about 10 past, mate. You know that. I've got another
right. Well, we'll jump to your game anyway, just to be on the safe side, because it was an absolute mauling of the derby.
I missed this because I was in bed.
A little bit of a mauling.
A little bit of a mauling, yeah. Well, you didn't concede
boys.
But
very flattering scoreline.
Very flattering score. I didn't see it because I was in bed. So
don't tell the tale.
Tell me the tale.
Yeah, go on, man.
Well, the 3 goals to United, you got to look in context. We were 6-1 up, and Pep changed all the team. Basically, brought on 5 subs
Right, that doesn't.
Walker went off injured. We brought on Laporte for his first ever appearance this year, just come back from a long injury. He was at fault. One of them was a soft penalty, which we've all said we thought was giving out sympathy for them. The anti-goal was world class. I'll give him that, but it was men against boys from minute one. We absolutely battered them from the get-go. And you've got the Nordic meat shield, as we call it. You've got Phil Stockport and Iniesta Foden, two City fans, two boiled City fans, bagging hat-tricks in a derby.
It's stuff of dreams.
Could you ask for more than that? You know what I mean? We all said this at the weekend. Haaland knew what he was going to do. You know, got to remember that team hurt his dad. That team ended his dad's career.
Yeah, it's true.
He was coming for him. He was coming for him.
In a good way, obviously. He didn't do it.
You've only got 20 months left of Haaland, though, isn't he? Because his dad is.
Why has someone got 200 million? Someone got 200 million?
It all depends what the buyout is, isn't it? I suppose. But
by the way, just say they all said the same with Aguero. They all said the same with David Silva. They all said the same with Kevin De Bruyne. We're now on 10 years for them all. So, hey.
I'll tell you what, even if you want to get 3-4 years out of Haaland, you're going to win almost everything, aren't you? And then Haaland's probably thinking, I've won everything. It's time to maybe go to Spain and do something a bit different, which you'll probably then say, fair play.
How frustrated will you be, though, if you basically win everything except the Champions League with Haaland?
I know, keep saying this, no one believes me. City fans aren't that bothered if we don't win it. We win it, we win it. We don't, we don't.
No, it's not the City fans I was sitting next to on the train when we went up for the free game. They were really angry that I hadn't won it.
City fans who were in Manchester then.
They were from Manchester.
Honestly, mate, we boo the anthem. We're not asked about the damn competition. Listen tomorrow night. When they play the Champions League anthem, we boo it.
Yeah, but why aren't you asked about it? It's the biggest competition.
But Martin, there's not enough fans there for us to hear the noise.
Because it's a corrupt competition.
Well, the Premier League is as well.
Listen, it's corrupt. It's not even the champions. Let's go back to a few years ago. Tottenham and Liverpool were in the final. There wasn't a league title between them in 80-odd years.
Yeah, but that's
not a Champions League.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been like this for years now, though, hasn't it? I mean, let's face it. The Champions League used to be
just a cup competition. You can draw your way to the final. Real Madrid lost 4 games last year and won it. You lose 4 games in the Premier League, you ain't guaranteed to win it.
That's true. It's true. Premier League is the one, but the Champions League, you're obviously playing against all the best teams in the world. And yes, I agree. It should just be champions, and I don't think Champions League teams should drop into the UEFA Cup either. I don't think that's fair on all the teams.
The only competition,
it's all about money.
Failing and get success in.
Yeah, I know. It's all about money, though, isn't it? But it's still fun to watch, and there's a lot of fans I know would still love to win it. I mean, we would love to win it. We'd love to win any fucking trophy, to be fair.
Same here.
Exactly. James, is there anything positive from this game for Man United? I don't think we've.
No, but I'll just talk about City briefly. I absolutely love Phil Foden. I think he's absolutely quality player. And if Southgate is watching, Phil Foden's got to be on actually starting for England as well. Because such a clinical player to have. How dynamic he is. And Haaland, well, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, no, he's a beast. He's a freak.
Of course.
Is he going to break 40 goals this season, Martin, in the Premier League? In the Premier League only?
So.
Yeah.
I don't think he will.
Well, he's on what, 14 now? He just needs 9 more to tie last season.
We've just skipped into. Yeah. We've just within the 4th day of October. He's on 14.
I get that. It's a great start.
Scoring a goal every 58 minutes.
I know it's mental, but I just think when it comes to Champions League stages, when it gets deeper into the competition, you might start getting rested a little bit if the league is, potentially.
No, he's not going to the World Cup.
Is he not?
No,
they're not qualified.
No way. No, he's got 6-7 weeks to rest up, put his feet up, relax.
Fair enough. Then maybe he is going to.
And we've also got the Norwegian physio now on board at Sarah.
Yeah, you mentioned that last week.
So everything is to be wrap him up in cotton wool. It's like, I mean, he's come out and said he's never been happier. He's smiling all the time at the minute. I think people forget he is a City fan.
Yeah, he seems such a lovely lad as well.
He is a City fan. He was at games with his dad in City shirts at Wembley and all sorts. So this isn't about money. This was never. Everyone thinks this was about money. It wasn't. This was just purely that he wanted to smile while he played football. No, I have no fear about Arsenal whatsoever because they've got our team and they've got our former assistant. So no fear.
You just jinxed yourself big time. That's a loss against.
No, I don't. I think because the difference is if Arsenal's still leading by January, they've never been in a position where they've got a beast like us chasing them. When you've got us or Liverpool chasing you, you have to keep. It's the mentality performance because City by January or February, or if it was Liverpool, can go 10, 12, 13, 14 games winning run.
What you just said about Proudlot was bang out of order. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, he knows what I think about him though. But you know, seriously, that's where I think Arsenal will struggle. Have Arsenal got 10, 12, or 13 game winning run in them without faltering? And I'm not sure they have.
I mean, you could say on form right now, potentially yes, but
not played anyone though, have they?
Well, they got beat off by United, beat Spurs. I think Spurs are
exactly. They got beat off United, and they're absolute pants.
Well, it was just a one-off bad game, wasn't it? I suppose. But they're doing what they need to do, though. You have to.
Desperation for Arsenal to win this league over us. He's getting there now, isn't it?
Hey, it doesn't bother me.
Want him to win.
I just want to see someone challenge it, and I just appreciate.
Are you trying to create a rivalry, Martin?
No, I'm not. Hey, listen, I would love. It's like yes, that was the sad thing with the Derby. It's funny, but it's sad to say. I wanted United to be challenging us. It'd be so much sweeter if we were knocking United off a perch and not just playing around like a dog with a chew toy. And that's what it was on Saturday. It was playing around with them.
Right, Mike, let's try and get your game while you're here because you keep dropping off.
You've got dial-up internet today.
He's got dial-up internet. He's got a Johnson.
Tell me about
everything going wrong tonight. But an absolute fantastic performance at Anfield. You've got a point. Probably deserve 3 on the performance. Even Klopp said they didn't deserve to win. Liverpool themselves. Are you disappointed or still happy that you got a point?
I mean, at the end of it, I was happy with the point, but I mean, we should have been 3 or 4-0 up at half time. We should have been out of sight. We weren't, and that's against the bigger sides. That's the price you pay if you don't take your chances. But 2-0 up, they brought Diaz on, who made a difference. But I mean, we deserved the point, and it was an amazing game. It was bonkers football at times. It was like kamikaze from us. But I guess that's the way De Zerbi plays. To be honest, he plays that sort of high press. Don't let them have the ball, and it's a risk. It's risk football, So, but yeah, no, it was a great performance, and I mean, at times we absolutely brutalised them,
Trossard hat-trick, he's really turning on this season, isn't he? Because he was always a hit and miss.
He's playing for his move to Chelsea in January.
I think we're going to hear that a lot till the end of the season. While he's off to Chelsea.
I think who isn't linked with Chelsea from our
exactly.
Like every player is like, I think Chelsea are in a different sort of transfer market than our players, to be totally honest. But
apart from maybe Caicedo,
McAllister, Trossard, that's probably
McAllister has been a beast since he moved into that role that you mentioned. But Caicedo was excellent at Anfield.
It was.
Again, bringing the ball out of defence and starting things off. He was fantastic. What have you made of your new manager? Because, like you mentioned there, he's a little bit more gung-ho than Potter by the sounds of things. Are you seeing his style already?
I mean, it's still Potter's team, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, you could see his sort of stamp on that performance. But I don't think he's going to tinker with it too much. I don't think there's any need to be honest. The foundations were there. So yeah, it's I think you saw little bits of it. Maybe as it goes on, that's you'll see more of it coming out.
Kevin thinks you're going to finish in the top 6, and rightly so on the performances at the moment and the form table. If we had got the points we deserved, especially against Palace,
it's early days. It's early days, isn't it? It's early days, so it's good, and we're enjoying it. And you never know. We keep playing like that. You never know, but it's early doors. Like top 6 is it's on, but it's not. I'm not thinking about that at the moment.
Yeah, I can see that. But you have beaten teams that should be ahead of you and got points against teams that should be potentially ahead of you if you call them the bigger teams. So it's frightening.
A lot of teams want that 6th and 7th spot, though, don't they?
Yeah,
there's a lot. Yeah.
You got Brighton, yourselves won it. Someone's going to lose. Someone's going to have to lose out.
And you might find that one of these, like Brighton, might maybe upset one of the bigger boys and maybe finish 5th or 4th or 5th, and then one of the bigger boys will miss out. You just never know. It's going to be an interesting season, apart from the title, because that's already over with.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, you keep saying no one's good at
No.
I said Arsenal the title.
I'm confident, but I want someone to challenge. I do make it more interesting.
Well,
seeing as Liverpool can't keep up.
No, Liverpool are just Are they still winning, James?
Yeah.
Liverpool still winning?
Yeah, still one up.
What, the league? Oh yeah, they're still one up at half time. My bad.
Evening, Pete. Good timing for you. Get to the bag. Finally a win since the opening game of the season. It was a red card. Let's, we might as well skip 7 minutes.
Oh, it was. I don't know how Marco Silva comes out and says that. I mean, not to mention, it was another Fulham fan that said it, but a lot of the Fulham fans that, when I was looking on their social media and they said it was a ridiculous challenge, they also said that Chalobah is a liability to their team and they want rid of him.
That was his first start, wasn't he?
You're not moaning about VAR this week, Pete. You're not having to go at the ref. What's going on here?
Well, VAR overturned a yellow card to make it into a red, so we've got to thank VAR for doing its job properly for a change for us.
VAR's helping you this year.
Another classic example of VAR being bought by Newcastle.
Wow. Yeah, it's just a shame we didn't buy it before the Palace game, though, isn't it?
That was a stonewall foul. You saw the intent from Willock.
Yeah,
he looked to Gator. There was a steal with it. He looked to Gator and was like, "I'm going to injure
the push
you."
from Mitchell.
That's exactly what he did. Disgusting.
Yeah, because he didn't show that bit.
And the right decision.
I love it. But Pete, I mean, even with the sending off, I still think we probably would have won the game. It wouldn't have been as comfortable, but we won it well in the end.
I mean, we had an opportunity before that, Burn, which was saved, and then Wilson hit the post. And it was great to see Wilson back and scoring.
They've only got one more game of him, though, because he'll be injured in the next one.
Probably.
That's my concern. But I thought Miggy had his best game for the club.
Miggy's goal.
I mean, there's still debate. Did he mean that or not?
100% did not mean that.
Of course,
that literally rolled down his leg and went in.
Well, I mean, it takes a little by surprise.
I'm going to hit this first time. He just rolled down his leg.
It was crap.
Classic kind of roll down your leg scenario from school.
But he just sweetly volleyed it, and Grealish is crying because he wants to play like Miggy. I thought Botman was very lucky. He hit the post. I mean, he's a due goal at some point, but we've got to see Longstaff follow up, which I was a bit surprised he started. Who hit that? I thought it was Dan Burn who hit that one when the keeper saved it and Sean Longstaff came in.
No, it was Botman who saved Leno, tipped it on the post, and then Longstaff came up and followed that. I must admit, I was surprised Longstaff started, but I heard when Eddie Howe said that Joe Linton was picked up an injury, and didn't train all week. I could understand why. I was a bit surprised with Murphy, though.
Yeah.
Okay. It was okay, but I mean, some of his final balls were still poor, in my opinion.
It's terrible.
The way you two speak about Murphy, he's your best player that you've got, and you absolutely rip him a new arsenal.
Got crossing accuracy so far in total, Steve, 24%.
He's terrible. I'm sorry. He's the one player that I would love to see out the door.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I thought great ball for Bruno for Miggy's second. I mean, for Miggy's first, sorry. And a good ball across for Miggy's second, a good ball by Willock across the box, and no one picking them up. I think it was one of Fulham's off days. It really, really was.
It was. I mean the sending off.
The sending off, you could say, but I think Mitrovic didn't look fit. I mean,
he was injured. He was international again, wasn't he?
Silva rushed him back far too quickly, and it's slightly come back to bite him a little bit. Whereas Eddie came out and said with Joe Linton and also ASM, like Joe Linton didn't train, ASM only trained on Friday, so he decided not to risk them. Well, Joe Linton was on the bench but didn't make an appearance. But yeah, it was just great to get that win finally, and hopefully our chance to kick on there against Brentford, which I would just love 3 points with it being my birthday on Saturday as well.
Yeah.
Happy 40th, proud lot.
Oh, when are you going to be 8 years, nearly 8 years off 40? So, Steve, so
you're 48.
Right, sorry, happy 48.
Aye.
Oh, he got you a good one there. Mitrovic going on, video going away. As I said, Newcastle fan.
Yeah, Mitrovic, he was rushed back.
He was.
He got injured on international. I think Marco Silva wanted him in to try and because he wanted to have got one over us, but nah, didn't.
I mean, Fulham are doing well. To be fair, same amount of points as us now, so it's
absolutely.
You can see them want to target us as it is a game, but they're just
And I want to touch upon Botman has to start week in, week out for me now.
Yeah, it was class.
I love Botman.
I'll tell you what, Paulina's a quality buy from Fulham.
Yes.
He was missing for them, wasn't
he? He was.
Suspension.
I mean, they were missing quite. I mean, like I said, there was too many players that were come back from international duty that weren't fit, and they just threw them on, hoping for the best, and it really did backfire. And they probably should have looked at this game and rested the players, and then
you should have done like we've done, like we did with Joe Linton, and also not risking ASM as well, which I think they'll both be back in for Saturday.
There you go. James, it's finally your turn. You finally got a win.
Yes.
And Bowen finally back to his best. He's finally got a goal. I put him in the fantasy football team, so you can blame me for him being shit.
I mean, yeah, good. Look, hopefully it kickstarts our season. I think that, getting the 3 points against the struggling Wolves side was always important, but it's how we did it. Moyes made changes, finally. And there's good changes. He put Paqueta in a deeper number 8 role. He put Kura at right back and had Craig Dawson starting centre back. Dawson was fantastic in this game. Kura was as well. Souček's been crap a lot this season, but down the right, he was bombing it down the right quite a bit. People said he did a really bad offensively. He didn't do really bad. He was better defensive than offensive, but still not awful offensive. 2 quality goals for Skamaka. Looks like he's going to go all the way to the top, I think. And Bowen, getting that first goal, I think Bowen was really good. He played with a lot more energy. Kura down that right, I think, helped Bowen as well. Really helped out Jared Bowen. And, we're very happy with the win. We've got a busy month. We've got 8 games to play. We've got to play Anderlecht Thursday. Then we've got Fulham after that.
What's your name, Klopp?
No. No, just saying. No, but look, and I'm saying excuse, man. Just saying. Yeah, we've got 8 games this. We've got 8 games this month, and I think we're ready for it. We're going in, and I think we're going in confidently. I'm excited now.
You needed the turnaround, and I tipped Wolves to struggle this season, and they're struggling worse than what I thought they would. I thought they'd struggle and maybe finish 10, 11 for 12. I didn't expect them to be this far down the league at this stage.
Well, they made a mistake letting Cody go, and it's proving that.
Yeah, it has.
Never's had to play as a centre back.
Did he? Jesus.
Yeah, he did a shit job.
Far too good to play there.
I know. Schumacher made mincemeat of him.
I can see Neves moving to Man United or somewhere like that.
Oh, yeah, I think he's going to leave.
Needs to get out of Wolves.
I think Wolves could potentially, if they don't start scoring goals, they're going to go down.
Well, didn't Neto go off as well? He went off earlier on in the game, didn't he, as well? Wasn't he injured quite early on or something?
Let's have a look.
For Wolves. Thought he was.
Neto went off. Neto went off in the 24th minute for Adam Traore.
Baz, you need to go to Turkey to sort that crown out, mate.
My hair's just thin, mate. I've got a full set of hair, though. Take your cap off.
Hey, I've got a full set of hair, mate. I'm good, mate.
Look at those cul-de-sacs. I was right large, harsh for him to get sacked. Is it? Neither did I know, but you always said he was a team fan. So
it wasn't a harsh sacking, though, because he had 3 wins in 30 games.
I know.
And spent a lot of money.
True.
It's a results business, and if you're going to do stuff like that and have form like that, I mean, it's unforgivable, the league, and Cooper is going to be the next one to go, I think.
Yeah.
This is the problem with the league. You get the so-called Leicester teams. I hate saying that, but you know what I mean. The Leicester teams, in terms of
like West Ham and Newcastle,
will get managers who do well, who want to push on, and then go right. I pushed on. Now give me the money. I want to go and buy better players. So they get the money to go and buy better players, but they're putting themselves under more pressure because if they don't perform, they're going to end up losing the job because they've asked for better players. So when because Wolves went and got that Nunes, they went and got from who we were after
Liverpool.
Liverpool were after him, City were after him, and he went to Wolves because of the Portuguese connection, and Costa will be on a lot of wages. So, you know, who knew it's a free? I don't think he's coming playing for free.
For peanuts, yeah.
So I'm not surprised he's been sacked because.
No, neither am I. I'm surprised he's been sacked. 1 win in 15 games, is it?
It reminds you of another manager that everyone kept on praising, but ended up finally getting sacked, even though Steve said he was one of the best managers to ever grace Newcastle United.
Oh, God.
And he's now took, what was it, West Brom from 6th to the bottom 3?
21st?
Yeah, but the reason why that happened was because of the mistreatment by Newcastle of him, and that really put a doubt in his mind in the way that he performs with his teams. And Newcastle are to blame for everything. You've got to start accepting this.
I've caught a whopper. Right, final game of the night.
That wasn't catching a whopper, by the way, Padlock. That was Baz reenacting what his missus does to him late at night.
Right, last game. Another game ruined by a red card, but a much better battling performance from Leeds. Or Villa just that poor, PDP.
Was it ruined or was it a red? Does anyone not think that was a red?
No, it was a red, but what I mean, the game is ruined because he got 10 men behind the ball.
No, but if you're Jesse Marsh, you're rollicking your player.
Oh, you should be, yeah.
That is stupid. Beyond stupid.
2 yellow cards that quickly is.
Well, if you look at the fouls, the Villa guy ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
he's running to the middle of the pitch. He doesn't need to foul him.
I found it to be the highlight of my weekend, and it delighted me.
You would.
Yeah, but Villa didn't. This is the problem with Villa. They're playing against 10 men, and they cannot open up 10 men.
Do you know why?
Because of shite.
Because they've got players like Watkins who loves to hit the post and the crossbar and can't score for toffee.
No,
and they
refuse
to play a player in Archer who ripped up the Championship last season, comes back. They won't loan him out and they won't give him any game time. And this is apart from Pep, he's the only manager to trust in youth. No Premier League manager will play a young player under the age of 20 because they just don't trust them. There's no brand and the expectations are too high for them to allow them to get game time.
Just take Pep out of that. Just take Pep out of that, please. Because there's only Foden. Nobody else has played.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pep's the only one that's done it with a young player. Every other manager has not done
that
it.
frustrates us because our EDS is
doing it with Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, Anderson hasn't really started a game yet, though.
Well, he hasn't started a game.
But he's 21.
Anderson's 19.
Right, Anderson's
19. Was he 19? Okay, but he's not starting games, though. He's not trusted to do that. And this is the problem. No point having these academies to develop these teams. I mean, look at what Martin was talking about earlier. Four of that academy at Man City have gone to Southampton, and they've put in clauses to have buyback options.
Look at Chelsea.
It's never going to work because the expectation for results is far too high.
Yeah, but they're not getting them. Villa are just...
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? You play kids and you play kids and keep your fans happy, but your board's unhappy. Or do you just... but I just can't win. Sometimes.
It's a valid point, Martin, but don't forget, these youngsters, they play with no fear. They play with desire. They play with tempo, and they go.
Look at Gordon at Everton. He came out of nowhere, and look at the passion that he shows in an Everton shirt. And I'm actually a big fan of Gordon. I think he's.
I do think the loan system works. Look at Gallagher. Gallagher was great for you last year for Palace, and he's now getting some game time at Chelsea. And without that Palace loan, I don't think he gets a sniff at Chelsea. Full stop.
Yeah.
I think it's Palace loan.
Difficult one. If Tuchel was still there, he would have no chance. The fact that Potter's there and believes in a younger player,
that's fair.
That's resurrected that opportunity for him and means he doesn't have to potentially look at a move.
But Gallagher got his chance under Tuchel and then he ruined it by getting sent off, didn't he?
Yeah, but Tuchel only put him into that game because of the injuries. If the injuries weren't there,
and they hadn't bought 10 other players before that.
Pardon?
Then he went and bought 10 other players after that as well.
Yeah,
so he was never getting in.
Fair play.
I mean, Chelsea are buying players for next season already. Never mind this summer. They started on next season.
Oh, that's what they're doing.
Back to the Leeds Villa game. I mean, it was a sinister display by them, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
In what way?
Forgive the pun.
I've spoke to a few Leeds fans, and there's a few Leeds fans at work who went to the game, and they just said that when the sending off happened, Villa didn't even look like they wanted to try and win the game. They were just time wasting all the time. Like they were happy with a point.
I don't get that.
I don't understand that.
And I think Gerrard's out of his depth. Tactically, he hasn't got a clue. He doesn't know what his best side is, and he keeps trying to appease people, specifically the ones that he's made the big fee signings of, the Coutinhos and the Baileys and stuff. And he's just drafting people in and out each game. And there's no cohesion and there's no gelling. It's too many square pegs in round holes.
Just to answer that very quickly, Kevin,
what Villa have done for the last 3 seasons, spending big money because they've got it with no real results on the back of it.
Yeah, true. Kevin, Spurs are playing tonight and they're drawing 0-0 with Frankfurt, as well as Liverpool winning 2-0 now. I predicted 3-1 in Super 6. So
anyway, boys, Baz, I'm going to shoot, mate.
Thanks for joining as always, mate. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
On the next one.
Yes, definitely. I'll be on PDP's channel next week. Looking forward to it.
I'll give it a miss then. Anyway.
See you later, pal.
Yeah.
Fantastic guy. Great for him to come on. So I mean, I really do fear for Villa. I honestly think they're one of the teams to go down this year. I think Villa, Southampton, and potentially, who was the other one I said? Bournemouth. I think they're my 3 to go down.
No, I think Villa will be all right. Forest will
I think Villa will just be fine. Forest are looking
Bournemouth will
likely.
go down, and then it's one of a handful at the moment. I mean, Palace, to be honest, we've had a really tough start to the campaign. We've faced 5 of the top 7 at any given point in time. Top 6, sorry. And we should have more points out of it. But the next 9 games we've got are vital. Starting with Leeds and Leicester, and we've got Bournemouth, we've got Wolves, we've got all of the teams down there and around. So we need to get a run together. We need to start winning. I think we'll be fine. It's not really a point to make, but I genuinely think that I think it's Forest and Bournemouth, and I think Southampton could get swallowed up, and Leeds won't be far away, in my opinion.
Leeds, I mean, a team again, potentially. But I just think there's 3 worse teams than them. I really do. We've got one more game to cover, which was obviously the game last night. Fantastic win for Leicester, finally getting off the mark again. Has that saved his job?
I think not just yet. It's gonna have because he's gonna have to do it in the other games. I mean, one game. It's how he does in the games after that. I mean, it's against a poor Forest team at the moment who are just starting to slump quite heavily now. So, yeah, one game. No, you can't say it after one game. It's got to be the next few games before you're thinking now his job might be safe now.
I think... I mean, I do feel sorry for Brendan Rodgers. We've spoken about
I do as well. It's the ownership you've got to blame the most because they've not had anything to spend.
If you look at previous history, Newcastle under Ashley, various other clubs under different ownerships where the investment isn't there. Yes, you've got owners that are absolutely filthy rich, but if you don't want to invest, how does the club go forward? It just all it does is it ends up stagnating. The average age starts increasing quite significantly, and the ability to find the form to get the points, especially when your legs are gone and you've not got 1 or 2 players, you've got like half a dozen of them where their legs are gone. It swallows you up, and when you've got no choice because of FFP and the fact that the club spent a lot of money and letting Fofana go, letting your keeper go, letting Schmeichel. Schmeichel's a massive character in that team.
He was,
and I know Vardy's fitness is fantastic. But he's been bereft with injuries the last 6 to 12 months, and his legs are starting to go now. You can see he's 35. He's not going to maintain that forever, and it's difficult. When you're going out and you're signing players like Daka, who's not a bad player, but he's
a bad player as well.
He's not a step up. He's not an improvement on what you've got, and you're still relying on your old hat or your old guard in Vardy, and you're conceding stupid goals. I mean,
that's the problem. They can score goals.
They can score goals, but when you don't replace your keeper and you choose your backup keeper, who's had 42 shots against him and conceded 23 goals, you're gonna really struggle because you've got a championship at best keeper. So it's not necessarily Rodgers' fault, but there's quality enough for him still in the likes of Barnes and Maddison and Tielemans and people like that to get the results together, to get the points. But I just feel they will just hover above the bottom 3 or 4, I think, by the end of the season. So it'll be a big come down from them. And I think if Brendan Rodgers gets to the end of the season, which I think he will because of the buyout fee that he's got,
10 million or something.
I paid 10 million or something stupid like that. I think it'll just be a mutual conversation where he just agrees on a settlement and goes. But it's a difficult one. But last night they come up against a team that is Forset or Forest.
Yes.
You typo nonce.
Put it the wrong way around. Yes, I had to type it in because I forgot all about Forest.
But if you look at it, when you've got players like Maddison and Barnes, you're always going to cause problems. You're always going to get opportunities, and you're always going to score goals. And Maddison is a real mute point because how the hell that guy is not in the England squad and is continually being ignored. We're 7 games in, the guy's got 5 goals and assists already. It's like, what are you doing, Southgate?
Exactly.
And you're choosing players like Mason Mount over him. It's like big issues there.
And Mr. Liability Maguire.
This is it.
I've given up on England.
I wasn't fussed. I didn't bother with the England games, but I didn't really miss much.
Yeah, thing is, I feel sorry for you two because you've both given up on England, and it's not going to be long before you give up on Newcastle as well.
Certainly won't be doing that.
Never going to happen.
England, I'll be watching them in the World Cup, but I just can't be bothered with the international breaks. I mean, this UEFA Nations League that England's been in has been a farce completely.
Yeah.
It's been shocking. No wins. We're relegated down to the B League.
And that's actually had a detrimental effect on the European draw because we're going to Pot B instead of Pot A because of that as well. So that's actually screwed with a little bit. Anyway, league table. Hands up if you can see your team. Hey, Stevie, look up.
You specialtons.
I've missed Steve's rant, but that was blatant daylight robbery for Palace.
Oh, it was, yeah. But, you know, what comes around goes around, isn't it? PDB.
Yeah, but
don't even try.
If you look at it, guys, you played 8 games and you got 11 points, and I mean that's not. It's pretty embarrassing, isn't it? Let's be honest.
No, I'm pretty happy
10 points off the top.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're saying that, but I've seen so many Newcastle accounts kicking off and moaning about the number of draws and
let's not get started on Twitter accounts that whinge about. Honestly, they do my tits in.
They've got a point. They've got a good point. Howe is out of his depth at the end of the day.
Right, hands up if you can see your team. There it is, Stevie. There it is. Go on, put your hand up. Go on, Palace.
Toughest start to the league season. So, but the next 9 games are what it's all about.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right. You've got enough to get out of it. West Ham are obviously out of it now. It's took them a little while to get going, but they finally got 2 wins. It just shows you a couple of wins and you fly up the table.
Yep.
Leicester obviously still in the bottom 3 with Wolves and Forest. I still think Southampton are going to drop into that. I really do. Bournemouth have done all right, getting a few draws, but it's starting to take a little shape, but I still think there's a few teams to move around there in the next 5 games, and we'll see what it's like at that point. Shearer's team of the week. Can't really argue with that, to be fair. On form just for the weekend. Trossard hat-trick, Haaland a hat-trick, Almiron with 2, Maddison with 2 and an assist, Partey with a great goal, Foden got a hat-trick. It's just full of goals, isn't it?
Xhaka brilliant as well from the Derby.
Yeah, he was.
That's Xhaka what he should have been. He is playing now.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. How many players from Palace are likely to play for England?
Well, he called?
None. I mean, yes, there's players who could play for England, but because Southgate is the manager.
It was the other. I forgot what's he called again. I forgot.
Is it?
No.
Is he English?
No, not. Was it a centre back? I can't remember.
Gay.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, he could potentially.
He should have been given a chance.
Yeah,
same with Tomori.
Yeah.
But that's what's the point? What's the point in calling them up when you've got no intention of playing any of them? And to turn around and say that the 2 games against Italy and Germany were pivotal in terms of what we do. Well, if they were that pivotal, what the hell are you calling up players that you're not even going to get?
Exactly.
You didn't even give them a minute. You didn't even give them a chance. I mean, imagine if you were Ivan Toney and Tomori and Gay, you'd be thinking, well, I just spent the last week and a bit messing around, training every day, busting my gut for no reason whatsoever. When you got players like Maguire getting in there, Mason Mount, who's massively out of form, and Maddison not getting called up. It's just Southgate is absolutely clueless,
and he never got a sniff as well.
He's clueless. He's clueless, Southgate. We all know that.
We have a shite World Cup. Southgate's got to be at the door now for that.
Oh, it's got to be. Then Potter for England. I would argue the best keeper of the week didn't concede. Who was that? I would argue the best keeper of the week. Who didn't concede? Was there a keeper that kept a clean sheet? Well, there was a few keepers that kept a clean sheet, but I don't think they were that good, though. The Bournemouth keeper was my keeper of the weekend. They didn't really have much to do. There you go. Southgate is way too much in love with Maguire. He is. Right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate your support. As always, it's been a good laugh talking about the weekend's fixtures. I'll be back tomorrow at 6:30 for a look ahead to the Southampton game. I've got Robin coming back on again, Brentford game. He's a Brentford fan. He's coming on. It's going to be interesting and a good discussion. And then next Tuesday, we'll be on Pete's channel. Yay!
Are you night shift for that one? Are you joining me?
No, I'll be joining you, I think, because I'm off.
Nice.
Yeah, I should be available. What have you got? You got your Friday night show one again?
Yeah, we've got the preview to the Brentford game as well. Awesome. And I'll be there, so I'll be doing the fan reactions afterwards.
I'll be there as well. I'll be drunk.
I think I will be after the...
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. My birthday tomorrow, your birthday on Saturday.
Yes.
Steve, when's it your birthday? Oh, who cares?
My birthday's not until December, mate.
You're one of those Christmas babies. Hit the button and subscribe on your way out, folks. Yes. But thanks for joining us too. Appreciate it as always. And everybody else who came on, Martin, James, and Mike. Good laugh. And we will see you tomorrow, hopefully at 6:30 if you join us. Take care till then.